We'll move on to this next question from Clem.
Patron and
Hello,
regular.
Henry and Shona.
Yeah,
Patron and regular, pretty awesome. Two thumbs up.
yeah.
So the Department of Justice has filed a lawsuit against Apple. As someone who uses Apple products, this definitely has my interest, and I'm sure it's a hot topic. What does this lawsuit mean for us, the privacy community? What does this lawsuit mean for the average Apple user? Are we going to see any immediate changes to how we interact with Apple services or products? The last question, really quick, I can say almost certainly we're not going to see any immediate changes to how we interact with Apple services. If Apple in the EU has shown us anything, it's that Apple will drag their feet for as long as humanly possible on making any changes whatsoever. So, if any changes need to be made, it's we're looking like way down the road. Do you have any thoughts on how this lawsuit will impact the privacy community? To be honest, I haven't really looked into all of the specifics of this lawsuit, like what they're going after. I just know that they're going after a bunch of different things Apple is doing, and it's all a part of this like Sherman antitrust law.
Right. I haven't directly looked into it, but what I've heard is that it's almost they're at least utilizing a lot of what's happening in the EU as a baseline for what they're
Hmm.
going after. So everything that you've heard about with Apple in the EU is likely a similar thing that the DOJ is coming after as well. And I think what's really special about this is that the EU is forcing Apple to do all these changes in the EU, and finally there's an excuse now for other countries to go, hey, how come now you have different products in different countries that comply differently? You're able to offer a service that's maybe more privacy respecting, that offers more options in this country. Why can't you do it in our country as well? And the EU's putting in that work to make it happen, and they're the first people doing it. And so the DOJ, it's making life a little bit easier for them, but I really wouldn't be super confident in how short term this is going to be. I think this is going to be something as massive as like the Microsoft situation decades ago, which, as far as I know, was not resolved in 1 or 2 years. It's the kind of thing where I think that this is going to maybe change a lot of things for Apple in a decade. Where maybe in a decade, Apple will no longer be able to close its wall as significantly as it does now. So maybe I think it'll indirectly benefit the privacy community, but not directly. There's nothing in this that I've seen that's directly applicable to privacy, but it's a ton of things that revolve around it, giving users more options for privacy oriented browsers and allowing them to make a better choice, giving more power to privacy tools so that they can improve on the operating system. So maybe your email provider can better hook into your operating system. Maybe we can see a better contacts, like an end to end encrypted contacts provider, if Apple better opens up how you can hook into the contacts app on your phone. I think it's those kind of things that could benefit the privacy community, but from what I've seen, this isn't a direct benefit to the privacy world. But I'm still fully in support of it because, like, screw Apple, right? And screw any big company that's using its influence to control people like this. So, um, yeah,
I really, I just don't think that we can really predict how this is going to go because if you look back to like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, the US was very hard on monopolies like this. They sued AT&T, they sued Microsoft. Like they were really going after these tech companies. And then for a very long time, until pretty much just now, they have really taken a weak stance against monopolies, especially in the tech industry, but like in general, pretty much. And is this the beginning of a comeback? And are they going to go after monopolies harder starting from now on? And are they going to really go after Apple? Or is just kind of, is this all going to blow over and they're not really going to put too much of a fight into this and Apple will just prevail? I really have no idea what to expect from this because it's pretty unprecedented in the last like 15, 20 years, I would say, for something like this to happen. It doesn't seem to be something that they've been going after recently, and they seem to be starting it up again. So
yeah,
that's all I'll say.
yeah. Also, just to finalize that, my hot take, I think that every major tech company that you can list off today has a lot more power and influence than Microsoft ever did 30 years ago. And so I don't know what
Absolutely.
that means. I think it's a much bigger uphill battle now because like the kind of things they were going after Microsoft for feel so minor in comparison to what we see today. Honestly.
Hmm.
So I don't I feel like it's a bigger uphill battle. They have a lot of fights to pick over like the smallest things. So and the biggest things. Hey, thanks for watching this clip. Here's another clip for you, and if you want to really dive into tech, check out our main channel, Techlore, for a deeper dive into digital rights, privacy, security, and more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.